another
Absolutely.
industry that is going to be radically changed, and that's e-learning. Now,
Absolutely.
I was not aware that the majority of the universities have had online tuition for quite some time, because they make their money out of research, not necessarily out of a professor standing in front of a class. And the quality of that online education is from very poor to excellent, and it depends on the universities. I was talking to somebody yesterday who has two children in school here. He's been offered the same course online for his kids, which they're doing at the moment on something that was put together by the school here, who aren't online educational specialists. He's been offered the same courses from an online university that's been doing it for 10 years, highly rated, for a tenth of the cost.
Wow.
So that there's going to be a change, a sea change across the board with regards to what happens online. The other thing that I think that's going to have to change is our dependence on AI, because at the moment, AI is without a doubt in its complete infancy. It is not the way that we think it should be, and it's not as efficient or as good as it should be. And this situation now with people working from home and all of that is going to have to force that industry to pull its boots up and say, right, we need to do something.
Indeed. And I think the more demand there is for online services, the online sort of business we're talking about, the e-commerce sector starts to grow. You know, the more demand we're going to see for services that feed into that sector. And, you know, when you mention AI, for example, I'm certainly not a specialist in that area. However, DocDoc, our healthcare company that's an investment in the Adam portfolio, you know, as I introduced the company, it is fundamentally driven by artificial intelligence analytics, data analytics, and it's all about big data and finding the right solutions for customers. But, you know, you can envisage that company relying more and more heavily on its AI engine as, you know, the demand starts to pick up and there's more and more usage and more data coming in. So, you know, you're absolutely right that these kind of industries are set for perhaps unprecedented growth as a result of this. You know, a small part of me believes that, you know, some people, you know, there's this idea of mean reversion, that eventually people go back to being the way they were. And there is a bit of that in all our human nature, but I think some things have fundamentally changed, you know, going forward. And certainly the drive to e-commerce, the benefit to e-commerce, even e-retailing, we've all read about, you know, people changing their consumption habits and buying things online more. And I'll give you one anecdotal example. We were talking to a company, I can't say where because then people will know which company this is, but it's in Asia. It's an online business. It's a specific online business that focuses on the pet food industry. And what we found in the last 3 months is that their sales have skyrocketed because, you know, if you think about it, if you're locked down, you know, you still have your pet, and your pet, like you, needs to eat and has to be sustained. And if they don't eat your dinner, they have to be given, you know, specialist food, basically. And
I have 3 cats.
There you go. So suddenly, you know, they found that you know, customers were saying, okay, well, you know, we don't have a choice. We have to order this online. Now, the question will be, when lockdown measures are released in this particular country, will those customers remain? Will there be a conversion cycle where they can remain, and, you know, maybe there's some attrition level, and that's all fine. But the point is, this business has found that the lockdowns has changed consumer behavior in that specific space. And so as a result of it, their business is now much busier. Their platform has to be more robust, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a very interesting outcome, not necessarily negative, but a positive outcome of the pandemic that we've experienced.
Sure.